3 sisters, bright-eyed and full of life. Paityn, 9. Evelyn, 8. Olivia, just 5 years old. They loved dancing, drawing, and playing outside with their mother in a quiet town in Washington. They should have grown up safe, supported, and surrounded by love. Instead, their names are now etched in headlines, their lives stolen by the one person who was supposed to protect them, their father. This is a story of a family fractured, of a system blind to warning signs, and of a man who unraveled while no one stepped in to stop it. This is not just a tragedy, it's a call for change. Travis and Whitney Decker were once partners in life and parenthood. High school sweethearts turned spouses. They lived a seemingly ordinary life in Wenatchee, Washington. Travis served in the U.S. Army Reserve. Whitney managed the chaos of 3 energetic daughters. Photos show birthday parties with handmade cakes, family trips, and holidays filled with smiles. Like so many families, it all looked fine from the outside. But inside their home, cracks were forming. Travis, while loving, carried a darkness that often comes with untreated trauma. His time in the military left him struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. In his later evaluations, doctors would diagnose him with borderline personality disorder, a serious mental illness marked by emotional instability, impulsive actions, and fragile relationships. In 2023, Whitney filed for divorce. It was not just about incompatibility, it was about fear. After the divorce, custody was split, but it was clear Travis's time with the girls would be limited. No overnight stays. Supervised visitation only. Still, Whitney tried to keep things peaceful. She believed her daughters deserved a relationship with their father, a man who once cheered at their recitals and bedtime story times. But in the background, Travis's behavior began to spiral. He lost his job at a local power company after an altercation. He began isolating. His speech became erratic. Friends and colleagues told Whitney that Travis was on the brink of something really extreme. Then came the accident. Travis drove off the road into a ravine. Police said it was a miracle he survived. Whitney believed it was something else, a possible suicide attempt. And just days after that crash, during a phone call, Travis ominously told her, "I think I'm going to jail soon." Whitney's alarms were ringing. She contacted the court again, pleading to restrict visitation further. But the system had its limits. On Friday, May 30th, 2025, Travis arrived at Whitney's home to pick up the girls. They were excited, backpacks on, giggling, ready for dinner with their dad. He looked calm, polite, assured Whitney he'd return them by 8 p.m. sharp. They never came back. Whitney called, texted, waited. No reply. By midnight, her worry turned to panic. She called police and filed a missing persons report. Washington State Patrol issued an endangered missing persons alert, but not an Amber Alert. You see, Amber Alerts are only triggered when there is immediate evidence of abduction. And since this was their father, the law didn't recognize the signs for what they were: deadly. As hours passed and no word came, Whitney knew something was terribly wrong. Days passed. Search teams combed the region. Then, on June 2nd, a disturbing discovery. Travis's truck was found abandoned at Rock Island Campground, a quiet, remote area near the Columbia River. Officers approached cautiously. Inside the vehicle, they found his wallet, zip ties, and plastic bags. And just beyond the tree line, 3 little bodies. Each of the girls had plastic bags over their heads, their hands zip-tied. There were no signs of gunshot wounds. Investigators later confirmed they were suffocated, likely one by one. It's a scene too horrific to imagine, and one no mother should ever face. Yet Whitney had to. Who was this man? And how did he reach this point? Friends describe Travis as deeply conflicted, a doting dad, but also a man haunted by war and bitterness from divorce. His mental health diagnosis, PTSD and BPD, is no excuse, but it paints a fuller picture. In court filings, Travis had accused Whitney of manipulating their daughters, of turning them against him. In one chilling entry, he said, "They'll grow up to hate me if this continues." To Travis, losing access to his children felt like losing his purpose. His last known Google searches were chilling. How to move to Canada without papers. Jobs off-grid. How to evade authorities. In other words, Travis didn't just snap. He planned. Whitney Decker is now a mother without children. In the days after the murders, she issued a statement. "My girls were love. They were light. And they deserved better." She doesn't only blame Travis, she blames the system. The mental health system that didn't intervene. The family court system that gave Travis unsupervised time. The alert system that didn't issue an Amber Alert. The laws that couldn't recognize risk from a biological parent. Whitney's attorney echoed that grief, saying, "This was a man in free fall, and no one caught him." This tragedy is not isolated. In the U.S., over 500 children are killed every year by a parent. In most of those cases, there were prior warnings, red flags, court documents, restraining orders. But the law often protects parental rights over child safety. Amber Alerts should be expanded to include dangerous custody cases. Mental health support for veterans should be mandatory, not voluntary. Family courts need trauma training and quicker interventions when warning signs emerge. The lives of Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia can't be brought back, but their memory can fuel change. Paityn, Evelyn, Olivia. They were more than victims. They were dancers, artists, sisters. Their loss shattered a town, a family, and a mother who tried to do everything right. Travis Decker remains missing. Whether he's alive or dead, the pain he left behind is permanent. But from this pain, we can build a better future, where no mother has to fear handing her child to someone they once loved. Let this story be the last of its kind. Let the system listen. Let it change. And above all, let us never forget.